Hey everybody, what's up, Daisuke? So I could not again. So my sleep's a little weird right now. I couldn't sleep, so rather than just sit in my bed not sleeping, I decided to at least get to work. It's basically what we're gonna do here. What I need to do is I'm gonna do some shading on her. This like pencil shade that I like to do before I color pencil, so it kind of works out the value. Hey, what's up, Hugo? Thank you, appreciate it. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. I'll get to that in a second. How to do it without references. Thanks. I do keep a picture of like their, what they look like from the game, like usually the concept art. But aside from that, I just reinterpret the shapes. The pose. It's just a silhouette, it's a big blob, and then I work out the chunky shapes and then make out the things in between. I can't memorize the characters, but what I don't do is just redraw the photos. And then with like light sources, I just keep it pretty simple. I just pick global light if it's coming from above or below. It's pretty simple. And then, I fake it if it needs to look better. Hey, what's up, Johnny? Sure. If I can, sure. Hey, what's up, Darth Andrew? Are there Overwatch commissions going to? No, these are going to be color pencil. Color pencil, Johnny. Like the Wolverine. This. Oh, awesome, Darth. I don't see myself doing digital versions of this. As for prints, these will probably just go in a sketchbook in the next year, you know. Or art book. I hate sketchbook. An art book, whatever. But yeah. But we'll see. Do I play Overwatch or games in general? I do play games. Play a lot of retro stuff because of Game Cave, but I do play 4 or 5 hours a week, modern stuff. So, like right now, I'm playing through Mario Odyssey and Sonic Mania. I don't play Overwatch, but I do watch all the cartoons and all the making of stuff from BlizzCon. I subscribe to the BlizzCon virtual ticket every time there is a BlizzCon. So, I think they're cool. I've said before when it was first announced, a few years back or whatever, however long it's been now. It's the modern version of Street Fighter, like World Warriors, with over the top designs and, you know, different countries represented. And so I think it's pretty cool. Did I study art? Self-taught. I did go to an art college, but they didn't really teach me much other than some hand animation, and everything else was like 3D and Adobe Premiere. So I didn't learn how to do anything artistic other than 2D animation um, in college. I had to teach myself how to color, paint, improve on my drawing, on my own. Yeah, self-taught. Just get a regular degree. I wouldn't worry about going to an art college, man. You know, if you ever do go to a university, I'd just go to a normal one. But if you want to learn how to draw, man, you can do that without college. It helps getting some pointers. I mean, it helps getting, tactile feedback, but it's very difficult to get good feedback anyway, man. So, with the way the internet is now, if the internet was this way back in 2001, with this much access to like watching people draw on live streams and YouTube, I'd have never gone. I'd have never gone. Would never have dealt with it. Could have saved myself $70,000 out of my own wallet, Because I never needed the degree to get work. I've never had one job that required me to have it. It's just frustrating. Now, other jobs, sure, like my wife, she for what she does, absolutely, but for what I do, nope. So it was a colossal mistake. I regret. It's the only thing I've done I regret in life. you know. Yeah, well, colleges were different when Todd Knock was going to college too. And Todd Knock got in on the industry, man, when they still let you draw, like drawings and shit. If Todd Knock had to start drawing in comics today, the way he draws, they would never let him through the door. He'd be maybe drawing at IDW for like, 150, 200 bucks a page tops. Todd Knox showed up in the early 90s in comics, bro. Like I was there, like this is a different time, dude. I mean, I bought New Men when it was new, you know? And, you know, colleges used to teach some form of draftsmanship. These days, it's, you know, basically if you want an art career in this country, you know, you're going to have to learn 3D. 3D or motion graphics or flash animation. All the jobs are in mobile or, you know, some cinematics, but they're more and more moving that overseas. And as for comics, you just got to be able to weather the not getting paid very much for a number of years, and hopefully maybe you will storm. I mean, that's just a fact, you know, like even Capullo will admit that if he had tried to break in today with the way he had broken, he'd have never gotten in, you know, like so. If I had this level of talent in 1993, I'd have had a pretty nice career in comics. But it's just not the case. Later, Darth. Have fun! I think in this economy, man, plus the 90s, dude, the economy was much better. I'm just letting you know, dude. Like, you could buy a home, you know, I mean, you could buy a home in California, dude, even in the 90s. Now, no fucking way. Well, that comes down to learning construction and perspective. Hugo, like, you know, if you build the shapes, you can, you know how figures move. But being saddled with $70,000 of debt on top of interest in this economy is just fucking dumb, dude. Like, it's just not a good idea. It's not a smart move. I could have got the same college education if I had just started in 96 when I got out of high school. Could have got the same one for about $25,000. You know, but I held off. Went to the army, figured, and then shit just ballooned. I mean, shit, my tuition was only 40,000, but after fucking interest, like it's 70,000. And most of these jobs, go look up any job search. When it comes to art, they're paying 30 to 40, maybe 50,000. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna make 50,000 a year for like maybe 2 years before I have to get, like, and where and what, LA? Like $50,000, and between me and my wife, we were making $100,000 in San Diego, and we could barely afford a two-bedroom apartment. Like, it's not good, man. You don't want to be living that life. But if you just want to draw good, dude, you got to sit down, you got to do the basics. Can't be drawing fan art and characters and stuff, man. That's what I did for years. Practice the basics. I get into it. If you go look at the new art tips, there's one that says all your questions answered. It's a Q&A, but I covered exactly what I did and the steps to take and books you can buy and stuff. So I would go check that out. Yeah, so I'd check that one out. Well, a cheap way around it is you don't have to spend the money on getting a diploma, but if you go to a community college and just take a few of the art classes and pay 25 or 50 bucks or what is it, $75 a class, you can at least get some solid instruction, usually, you know. Then come back in 6 months, do it again. No degree, but you know, if you really want someone to give you feedback, then that's a way to do it. Provided you find someone worth, you know, it's hard to say. I watched Tognac draw in person? Yeah, I mean, since the 90s. I mean, not in the last 20 years, but sure. I used to bug him at San Diego Con when he was drawing Newman over at Extreme. And him and Roger Cruz took over on Youngblood. Pat Lee was on Bloodpool. Remember Bloodpool? Last time I met Todd, I was working at Play because he was friends with one of the associate editors, and they brought him by, and they're like, "Dude, Rob, Todd Knock." I'm like, "Oh shit!" So he saw my portfolio and was like, "Dude, your fucking shit's dope." I'm like, "Thanks, Todd." So. Oh. You should go look at the video Rob's old art, Hugo. You could see how I couldn't draw too once. And it wasn't even that long ago, you know. I mean, Todd was one of those artists that stood out. He was like somewhere between like, you know, a little bit of Joe Mad, a little bit of like Eric Larson, right? Like kind of that Jack Kirby thing where, you know, he could fit any character in his style. And it was dope because he could draw like a bunch of characters. And he seemed to be putting that quality into some of the extreme books, which, you know, were always hit or miss. So. Like I had always wished he had drawn like Freak Force or something at the time. Ideas of what to draw. I would just practice construction, Hugo. If you want my personal opinion. Sitting around drawing a picture of Batman ain't gonna help you get better. Like squares and stuff. I would. Yo, what's up, Dom? I would study Scott Robertson's Intro to Perspective. That's what I would do. But that's me, guys. Oh, thanks, Dom. It's getting there. Yeah, it's getting there. What kind of color? I use Pentel. So two things I recommend, right? Probably using the same lead. There's the list of my art materials are in the info box if you scroll down. But this right here is a Uni Kuro Toga pencil. Kuru, Kuru, Toga. And it's going to hold the lead firmer so it doesn't snap as much. But you also need to stop pressing hard, seizure. Like if I press hard, it'll break the lead. Like you gotta like not press very hard, you know. And that was a hard thing to learn. Like I got what do you call that? Carpal tunnel back in 2007 from just years of pressing too hard. But this pencil will hold the mechanical lead better. So because it has a stabilizing mechanism right here. Who go first? I learned construction, and then I learned how to like model characters and stuff, like actually sculpt and 3D model, and then I applied that to my art. You know, you got to teach yourself to see three-dimensionally. You got to retrain your brain. You know, realistic, cartoony doesn't really matter. It takes years. You can do it. I did it. I was not gifted with any artistic, talent. Drive certainly, but not like I'm the best artist. No, not really. I mean, best artist in my house. you know. But not the best artist at school or even in art departments. If I can show, even when I got jobs, like working in art departments, wasn't the best artist in the art department. Never been the best artist. Definitely one of the hardest working ones. Very few of the artists would go home and spend all fucking night doing this shit. you know? So, effort goes a long way, man. And I spent years just not doing anything of any importance, just learning how to, like, construct. How to draw different things, three-dimensionally. Like, I stand by it. It's not a secret. It's not hard. It's just not, what do you call it? Magical, right? Doesn't sound like, You know, like things you'd want to do. You know, but if you don't understand basic chords in music, how are you ever going to play professionally? You know, if you don't understand how that shit works. Some people can wing it, but some people are fucking geniuses. The rest of us have to do, like, the effort. You know? Yeah. The straight lines. Well, that's the dot technique. That's years of doing the dot technique, you know? And yeah, they do compliment you a lot in high school, man, but not my not my high school. When I was a kid, it was like there'd always be some dicks who'd be like, you know, there was a guy named Matt Strutton, and he was like the number one fucking artist at our school, and everyone would be like, Matt's gonna get his own book at Image. That's what they would tell me. Now, Matt would never say that shit. You know, I never knew the dude. You know, but all of his little acolytes would come over, see me drawing, and go, you know, Matt's better, right? And I'd be like, what the fuck can you do? I get what Matt's up to, but what are you up to? You know, and these people wouldn't even ever go to Comic Con. Like, so I was like, where are you at con, man? You know. So I never let it discourage me. I just learned really quickly that, you know, I can't really trust what people tell me. I'd go to con and get, you know, I wouldn't even get feedback from pros. I would never show my art because I knew I wasn't at the standard at which they were looking for. I would sit in portfolio reviews. They would do these portfolio reviews at cons, which they don't do anymore for the most part. But at the time, there used to be these portfolio reviews. And rather than get a portfolio review or fucking bother even trying, I would just stand at the front since I was a little kid. I'd be like, can I just watch? And they'd go, sure. And I would watch 50, 60 portfolio reviews. You know, and out of those 50, 60 people, I'd see maybe 2 or 3 get an offer to like do some tryouts. You know, I saw one guy ever get hired at Image at the booth. You know, I can't remember his name, but I remember he just like won the fucking lottery. This is 95. So it was in that, you know. Hassles. Well, you know, people can be. People love to compare you to other shit, you know, like I'd get the same thing in college, you know. I got a buddy Eddie, you know, and Eddie was considered to be probably the best artist, you know, in our class, and people would love to fucking tell me, you know, Eddie's gonna be fucking way famous, dude. You know, Eddie's gonna get working for Disney. Eddie this, Eddie that. I'd be like, good, go. But and meanwhile, Eddie and I would be friends. We'd be hanging out all the fucking time. You know, he didn't. We we weren't competing, but people would try to like do that, you know. And I'm like, fucking, this is an art school, man. Don't you got some fucking art to make? Don't worry about me, man. You know, I'm nobody. Don't worry about me. You go work on your portfolio and you get your own fucking bills to pay. You know? Yeah, I saw The Incredibles 2 trailer. It's awesome. I'll watch anything Brad Bird works on, even fucking Tomorrowland, which I think Tomorrowland was a movie that they had a great idea for, but Disney then was like, it was supposed to be this whole like secret history of Disneyland, and Walt Disney was going to be in it, and, like, you know, and they cut all that shit out. So, whatever. But he still made my favorite Mission Impossible movie. Plus, you know, fucking Iron Giant, the best years of The Simpsons back in the day, Incredibles, Ratatouille. I will watch anything Brad Bird works on. Anything. If Brad Bird worked on a dubstep music video, I directed that and fucking watch that shit any day. You know. Morning, Zygo. Yeah, I'm excited. I gotta practice doing some of this stuff here. No, they invented humans looking good in CG, though. You know, like Pixar developed the standard of, you know, cartoon. You know, humans working in CG, cartoony or not. Like before The Incredibles, it wasn't working very well. You know, fucking, I submit to you, Polar Express. So now they got all that might, right? All the effects, the photogrammetry. The movie's gonna look stunning, you know. Just hope the script is there, and it should be. I mean, they took their sweet fucking time with it, you know. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thanks, Cap. Appreciate it. Yeah. What looks real doesn't age well. It's always a product of the time, you know. But art lasts forever, man. You know. Any thoughts on the new? Haven't seen it. I'm gonna go see it Tuesday on $5 day. They're not getting my IMAX money. I've been waiting since George Miller was supposed to be directing this film back in 2007. You know, when 10 years I've been talking about a Justice League movie. You know, and here it is, and now I'm like, oh wait, don't need the fucking pain, don't need the trouble. Yeah. Teach him a good lesson. Lose some of that opening weekend money from Rob. You know? Then I'll go see it. You know, Tuesday. See, if you press too hard, you can break it. Even I have to like remind myself not to press so hard. Oh, here's what I can tell you I don't get, and I experienced this firsthand when I saw an early advanced screening of Batman v Superman. If you are really into superhero films and you're mad that, I'm not saying you, but just anyone out there who's into superhero films and they're really mad that someone didn't like it and they decide to say shit like, I hope you fucking die, those people, that's the shit I can't stand, you know? It's like, you know, you can't go to fucking movies where it's all about being a hero and saving the day and doing the right thing and then issue death threats because you don't agree with someone's fucking review. Like, that it just doesn't make any fucking, it doesn't make any sense to me. You know? So, you know? I don't think it's a horrible, I'm pretty certain it's not a horrible movie. It's probably just milquetoast. It's probably like trying to be a bunch of different things. You know, and Warner Brothers, they keep blaming DC. It's Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers need Kevin Sujihara took over from Alan Horn, you know, at Warner Brothers, and he doesn't fucking understand the world he exists in now. He doesn't understand it. They're gonna have to try harder. You know? The only movie they kept the fucking hands-off approach on because they weren't interested in it was Wonder Woman and came out, you know, came out as a solid film. You know, but this whole they got to sit down and, you know, if they want to fucking make $1 billion at the box office, they're gonna have to play a whole another game. You know. So I personally think Kevin Sujihara should step down from Warner Brothers. I don't think he gets it. You know, that movie when they couldn't get, you know, when they needed it, you know, when Joss had to take over because you know, Zack Snyder had to step down, and they couldn't even get Henry Cavill to be able to shave his mustache. They should just push the fucking movie back, you know, fix the CGI. You know, they knew what they knew. They don't care. I haven't seen this manhandling of a situation since watching Universal fuck up their monster movies, right? Like, it's just not that fucking hard, man. You know. Sorry. It's like, but it's not. It can't be horrible, dude. Like horrible is fucking me sitting in a movie theater in 1997 watching Batman and Robin. That's fucking horrible. Yeah. This is just This is the standard has risen. You know, and effort and execution and planning. You know. And if they don't want to put the effort in, then they're not going to get my $40 plus fucking ticket. They can get my $5 ticket, you know? And they can eat the fucking cost. I don't care. The characters are going to survive. Nothing's going to kill Batman, you know? Batman and Robin couldn't destroy Batman. Nothing can. The character's too strong. The question is, you know, how long will it be, right? I mean, the next DC movie ain't till fucking 13 months from now. You know? Who's going to fucking remember? You know? I mean, that's crazy, guys. Like, you know, but that's you know, that's a top-down leadership problem. That's a CEO's fucking job, man. You know, they should have put someone in charge. And if you ever go look up the original draft of BV Superman that was turned into the world's finest, I did a topic on it a couple podcasts ago on the regular Sketchcraft podcast. But David Goyer turned in a world's finest script. That it's the one we wanted, right? That Lex is the president, you know, or running for president as a whole, you know, and then all that weird shit that they added with Doomsday, you know, that's all after the fact. So, you know, turning Lex into a Eisenberg or whatever, you know, that fucking direction. So it's whatever, dude. But I'm not gonna go and sit in a movie theater and watch them put, you know, watch a fucking committee try to like poorly fix, you know, problems when they could have. They have Jeff Johns, you know. They got the talent, dude. It's not like they don't have the best. They don't have. They have the characters. They have the tools. They have the talent. You know, and it's like, dude, come on, man. How we don't already got? We should already have 3 Batman films with Ben Affleck and Jeremy Irons as Alfred. You know, the fact that that doesn't exist already is just ridiculous. You know, like it's just so ridiculous. But they don't want to you know, they're playing their game. They're playing the movie game like it's still 2000, 2002, 2003. They're playing they're way behind the curve, you know. Way behind the curve. I'm going to watch Stranger Things 2 a second time before I fucking, you know, sit through that shit. You and your Chucky. It's funny. So whatever, right? You know, whatever. They should have had a Man of Steel 2 out by now, the whole thing, but they're not interested in that. You know, they're interested in spending $6 billion on one fucking movie every, you know, with a bunch of shitty fucking special effects when we didn't ask for that, you know. What we wanted was fucking fun characters doing cool shit. The fact that Thor is probably going to kick its ass at them is crazy. Crazy, dude. You know? I'm not a Marvel guy, man. You know? I've worked on those fucking movies. I worked on the Justice League merchandise, man, and didn't work on the movies. I worked on the merchandise, but you know, like I worked on the Justice League merchandise, and the merchandise was dope, way better than what Marvel had going on. But that fucking movie killed any chance of that shit selling. Period. You know, so it's like, you know, years of watching it. It's like whatever. I didn't see what you were asking. I saw the Incredibles 2 trailer, Armando. I don't draw commissions for people. People purchase them, Armando. So I know you're in high school or whatever, but like this is actually money. This is how I pay for all my supplies and stuff. I use the commissions to pay for all my art materials, you know. I liked the Incredibles one. Unless I'm missing something, but I didn't see anything with artwork in it. No. No, I don't do anything for free. If you're good at something, never do it for free. I mean, the Batman films have always been like my Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I used to worship Star Wars. But I was 10 when the first Batman, when the Tim Burton movie came out. So being able to go to the theater and see something that no one had seen before, no one's seen a dark fucking superhero movie like that before. I mean, I grew up with the Superman movies, but they weren't like that. So the Batman films to me, anything with Batman in it, man, I'm like, that's my fucking shit. I can't wait. And the fact that I am not there opening weekend, you know, I got to take a stance. I got to take a stance. They're just going to have to try harder. If Disney's willing to reshoot an entire Han Solo film because it's not up to snuff, then, Warner Bros. Doesn't have any excuse. I don't really care for the look of Injustice, so, you know, I've never been a Mortal Kombat guy. I've always been a Street Fighter guy, so, the play style is not my thing. I don't really care for the art design. I get people like it, you know, but it's kind of a fugly game to me. It's like a PlayStation 3 engine, with bad lighting and crazy techno suits. I don't know how anyone complains about Rob Liefeld, but they give Injustice a pass. Look how big Superman's shield is, and everything's chromed and technoed out. It's all techno. This is red pencil. This is just Pentel red lead, red mechanical pencil lead. Yeah, that engine of theirs works better with horror games, but I'm sorry. I'm looking forward to Dragon Ball Z, guys. That's the fighting game that's my shit. I like animated, fun art direction. I like strong art direction, like Guilty Gear, you know. Yeah. Dragon Ball Z, I will be buying day one. Day one, folks. You know. The old Capcom fighting games, Children of the Atom, Marvel superheroes. Man, I even like Red Earth. You ever play that game? It's fucking weird. It's basically a boss battle fighting game. It's short as fuck, but beautiful. For a fighting game newbie, what game can I recommend for you? Oh, Smash Brothers, right? But I mean, if you really want to learn like actual like, if you want to play a real like a fighting game where there's actual like depth to the gameplay and shit, I mean, it's always a toss up for me between if you want to go old school. I like Street Fighter Alpha 3 an awful lot. I think Street Fighter 3 is a tremendous game, but that's harder, It's harder. It's harder for people. But I think Alpha 3 is pretty amazing. But if you want a modern, I'd just go with fucking Smash Bros, dude. It's fun. It's a fun game. Like if I could only play one for me at like as an old school fan, you know, that'd be tough. That's a toss up between Street Fighter 3 and Fire Pro Wrestling D, because I like me some 2D wrestling games, you know, which I consider fighting games. Soul Calibur is fucking dope too. The original. Yeah, the Dreamcast. 99.99. Any vids on how to draw mechs? Yeah, I talk a little bit about it. There's a thing somewhere in my art tips about that thing. About I draw mechanical stuff using silhouettes. So I'm with you, man. If not 2D, then they need to fucking send Marvel versus Capcom to Arc System Works. You know, the Guilty Gear Dragon Ball Z engine would be perfect. You know, those guys need to make it. Period. I mean, but yeah, because those old school Capcom fighting games were like playing an anime. You know, like they were amazing. Yeah, Marvel versus Capcom too. Their last great 2D fighter. I always thought X-Men versus Street Fighter was a really good underrated title too. I don't think that one gets enough love. It doesn't have as many characters and stuff as obviously, but it had the tag team battles and it had some great backgrounds. It's a shame they never made, you know, an MVC game with the CP3 engine, But when you look at fucking Dragon Ball Z, man, like if you're gonna go 3D, that's how you do it, man. Like it's pretty, the animations, everything. I don't know, Armando. I don't remember seeing it. No, I didn't see any of that stuff, man. Sorry. It's my wife's birthday, man. You just gotta spend time with people, Armando. I don't spend my day a whole day on the phone, by the way. So we had a bunch of errands to do, and then I made her shepherd's pie and mulled wine from scratch. You know, that's how I roll. That's what she wanted. And then we watched a bunch of episodes of MasterChef Australia and Food Wars Season 3. Getting caught up on that. It's a nice tie-in. Yeah, it's a mincemeat. You know, I use a pound beef, pound sausage, cooked with onions, carrot, peas, corn, celery. And you make a mash, put it on top. Cheese, you bake that shit. It's tasty. But I got my own mince I make with cloves and allspice and nutmeg and shit and chili. Normally, because we live a low carb diet, but it's her birthday, so normally I make it with like a cauli mash, but it's her birthday, so I made it with real potatoes. That shit filled me up pretty quickly. Yeah. Sprinkle a little green onion on top right before serving. Gives it a little bite. You know, it's not traditional, but I like it. Oh yeah. I backed the Kickstarter back when it was. A big fan of Way Forward games for a long time, since the original Shantae. You know, when I was working at Play, I got to meet Matt Bozon, and I was like, "You're fucking amazing." You know, so I was once developing a video game with the guy who owned Play Magazine, Dave Halverson, and Way Forward was like the people were gonna have do the work. You know, before the fucking thing crashed. You know, because I was like, they're the ones, man. We gotta get them to do it. So would have kind of been like a game like Shovel Knight, but with a motorcycle. A little more 16-bit in terms of the this is 2008, you know. So like Metroidvania, but on a motorcycle. Yeah. Animated DC movie, do you like? I don't really watch a lot of them, man. I'm not a big fan of. I like anime, you know, endless fucking cartoons where no one ever suffers any consequences. Not quite my thing. The last DC movie I got into was like Return of the Joker, you know, 2001. So, you know, I watched The Dark Knight Returns. I just think they look bland. They all look the same to me. Like they don't look like the comics. You know, no shadows, no art design, nothing. There was that short, the Chinese Batman short. I really liked that. Thought that was fucking amazing. But yeah, I wanted to see that game too, but the economy tanked and wiped out the company, so it went nowhere. They all look the same, man. Like they keep making like the one that's pissing me off right now is Gotham by Gaslight. That was my shit, folks. Gotham by Gaslight was my fucking jam, dude. Like that was my shit, and it doesn't look like the fucking comic. Like it doesn't. They need to get Madhouse or the French animators, the ones that did the Illusionist and the Triplets of Belleville, whatever his name. Get those guys to do that with the watercolor like backgrounds and the loose ink style. The end credits look more like the comics because they actually use the comics. Like if you watch Batman Year One, it looks like a generic Bruce Timm animated movie. Then you get to the end credits and it looks like the fucking comic because they fucking animate the thing, man. Like they can animate things that don't look like the animated series. Like let the animated series be its own thing if you have decent writers. But not everything has to look like that, man. So it's just boring to me. I mean, you ever watch the Max cartoon from the 90s and Aeon Flux? Like, animation used to be fucking, everything was different looking. Everything had its own look. Everything. The Max had its own look. Beavis and Butt. The Max, Aeon Flux, and Beavis and Butthead were all on the same show together. You know? Like, you'd get the Tick had its own look. You know, fucking Eeks the Cat had its own look. Every cartoon had its own look. Now they all look the fucking same. It is horrible, dude. Horrible. It's not what I signed up for, you know? It's not what got me interested in animation. Now, the shit on the internet, like when you see guys just animating shit on Twitter, they're fucking hooking it up. And I hate how the packaging for the DC animated movies is all like it looks like that super Imagine FX, super rendered, realistic shit, and then it's a 2D fucking bland Bruce Timm generic looking fucking cartoon on the inside. That is the very epitome of the cover that doesn't match the insides. I don't get it. There's no shadows in the Dark Knight Returns animated movie, you know? Which everyone loves. It's like, okay, it's not bad, but it's like there's no shadows, dude. There's no ink wash, there's no airbrush, there's no fucking artistic nothing. Sorry, man. Like it all looks like they hit the Justice League cartoon from 2001, and that's it. That's all they've done. They just keep making that over and over and over. The fucking Jeff Matsuda Batman cartoon had more. I mean, granted, the Joker looks stupid, but you know, at least there they were at least putting shadows and trying different shit. I'm just not interested, man. You know, I'm not interested. You know. Jim Chung. Oh no, Jim Chung. Chung was his name. Fucking. Yeah. Yeah. He worked on the Riddick tie-in and everything else. He was a CalArts student. Went to school with a guy I learned animation from. So it's just, you know, man, it's just whatever. I'm interested in this Batman. Peter Chung, thank you. I'm interested in this Batman ninja anime, even though I haven't seen one. But if it looks like generic bullshit, then no. But that fucking short, the Chinese Batman short, whatever the fuck, that Kung Fu Batman, whatever the fuck that was, that shit was amazing. Where like he's fighting Bane and Catwoman's in it. Give me a whole fucking thing that looks like that, you know? There was these short animations that are legit. They're real. I mean, they're from Marvel. Marvel outsourced these Ant-Man shorts to a French company. Those are fucking cool. If you've seen the Ant-Man ones. Shanghai Batman. Yeah, that's it. Shanghai Batman. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. That I fucking thought was amazing. I would love that, more of that, or they could let whoever did that give them the Spider Clan. Remember the Legend of the Spider Clan, the Spider-Man thing? Give them that. I'd watch that. Yeah, the Ant-Man ones look dope. I'm just tired of this generic LA style, one size fits all animation thing, man. Like, I mean, like, anime has consistencies in terms of its style. I mean, it always shifts every 5, 10, 6 years or so. But they don't look, Attack on Titan don't look like Kill La Kill. You know what I mean? And it's just like everything just looks so like the Justice League cartoon. And guys, I wasn't a fan of the Justice League cartoon. There's some cool battles, but there was no story. Compared to what I grew up with the Batman animated series, by the time the Justice League came out, I was so excited for it. And I'm like, there's nothing here. They just fight. And it's like, here's the next hero. It's like they just keep shoving more characters in it or fan service and making me think I give a shit. You know, there isn't any episodes like Heart of the Ice or The Gray Ghost or the fucking was that one Batman animated one where like the Joker fish, that was fucking awesome. You know. So it was just fights, dude. Like they figured out how to add motion blur to the fights, and then now we're like, it's amazing. Like I don't care if you do the shaky cam. The people hate the shaky cam in the movies, but then they do it to the animation. Like that just got so much power. I'm like, all right, dude, but you know, none of it. Why don't we have a Batman animated film that looks as good as Akira 1989? Why? Why don't we have one? You know? Animated at that level with Mignola style and fucking steampunk Batman. Like, oh shit! You know? I feel like, what's that Key and Peele sketch with the two chauffeurs? You know? It's my jams, you know? Billy Gibson's. Like that shit, you know? Like. But whatever, you know. There's always some cool. I'm interested in that Klaus movie. I've been following that for a couple years, so Netflix picked it up. That looks cool. You know, I just want some different looks, man. It's fucking 2D animation. Holy shitballs, you know. It just can't come from the big two. It can't come from Marvel, DC, Time Warner. It's gonna have to come from somewhere else. You know, they're too set in their ways. That one guy that was making that X-Men animated series that got shut down because he got DMCA'd, that looked fucking amazing. Looked like a cross between Marvel versus... Looked like a cross between the Capcom games and the X-Men animated series. He's doing all... That shit looked dope. Probably would have just been fights, but at least it looked cool. Looked different. All right, so here we go. This is ready for color. Yeah, they gave him a DMCA before Fox gave him a DMCA before he could ever show it, and so he can't show any of it, or he'll get, you know, they'll take him to court. It has to do with the fucking animation rights to X-Men, and Marvel's a fucking dick. Marvel legal sucks, bro. I've had to deal with it myself. They're assholes. I wish I could put it nicer in a way, you know? Like, that's the nicest I can put it. I have a few other choice fucking phrases for them, but, you know. Assholes, evil. Evil might be a good word for it, but, well, you know, you don't really own fucking the car. No one's saying we own the shit. But if they're going to be unwilling to produce fucking cool animation, why can't someone produce something and be like, hey, what about like this? They're just fucking dumb. They're so stupid. It's a bad move, man. That shit looked dope. All right, everybody. I got some stuff to do. I'm going to be back on... No, he wasn't making any money. He just wanted to put it for free on YouTube. And they shut it down because that's how they roll. So rather than move... I'm not going to move to color pencil yet. I got 3 more of these fucking things. They're all ready to go. I got to draw. So I'm going to take a break. And then check back, see if my wife's up. If she's not, then I'll come back and I'm going to start work on another one. So I'm going to get all the drawing done for the 4 commissions first, and then I'll color them all. So, boom. All right, everybody, thanks for hanging out. Oh, Batman Studio Ghibli, don't break my heart, man. I'd like to see Batman by the Ankama Studio. If you've been following Ankama's work, like with the Dofus series and Julith, you know, they're pretty dope. But I'll take that Shanghai Batman, man. I will watch fucking 10 hours of it on Netflix. Shanghai Batman, that's what I'm saying. Armando, Seizure, Psycho. Let's go up the list. Chris, Kia, Anna's at schoolwork. What else we got in here? Daisuke, Hugo, Dom, Johnny. And all the bots. Anyone else I missed? Hector, probably. He's been in there. Peace. I'll be back shortly. All right. Peace.